Hey everyone, I figured it was time to go ahead and let's do a little bit of a story time today. So, about 2 years ago, I did my first ever bodybuilding competition. I've never been interested in bodybuilding. I never really wanted to do a show. I just thought that wasn't for me. I was someone who was an athlete, I was a personal trainer, and yes, I loved fitness and I loved health, but bodybuilding was never something that I was inclined to do. Every time someone asked me, because I did have a lot of muscle, if I would do a show, I was like, I could never handle the diet. Like, yeah, I could do the working out, but I could never be on a strict diet. I love food too much. And if you know me, you know I did love food growing up. Like, food has been my entire life. My dad's a chef. I love good food. I've always loved good food. Now, my relationship with food got a little bit complicated once I went into college and I had nutrition classes. I was a Division I athlete around all these other athletes who also may have had disordered eating. So my relationship with food did shift in college. So it was teetering once I became a personal trainer. When I became a personal trainer, I really figured out how to dial in my nutrition so I could look a certain way. But I never really was able to achieve specifically what I wanted to achieve. I just figured my body's not built for it. My body's not built like that. I'm a strong woman. And then I did really well training myself. I had a high protein diet. I strength trained, progressive overload. I was building muscle, and I was getting leaner just by following my own plan. And then I had a friend who was also a personal trainer come up to me and he was like, I think you could do a show and I think you do really well. And I was like, I just don't think it's for me. And then I had a couple other people be like, no, you should do it. You should try it. And at that point I was like, these people believe in me. Maybe I'll give it a try. And so I got with this trainer and he said, there's a show in about 9 weeks. You should try it. Let's do it a tense cut and let's get you ready for it. So I decided I was going to do figure because based on my body and where I was at, because I loved back and I loved legs, I already had kind of like a good basis for the figure category. And that's where you like want the X. So small waist, wider back, strong legs. And so I was like, let's do it. And I first started out with, let me try 1 month. Let me try 1 month training like a bodybuilder and see where that takes me. I'll try the diet, I'll try the workouts. And honestly, after being an athlete my whole life and then having a break where I didn't have a coach, it was so nice to have a coach again. It was so great to have someone tell me what to do, someone always checking in on me, giving me props for hitting my goals and hitting the weights that I'm supposed to do. And it was just nice to have someone have my back and tell me what to do to become better. And getting ready for this show really showed me that I could do anything I put my mind to. Once I had a plan, I followed it to a T. I did every rep, every minute of cardio. I tracked every gram of food that I was eating. And that was something that I never did my whole life. I never tracked my food. I never tracked my protein. I just made sure I ate enough protein and everything else kind of filled in the gaps. And so following a meal plan and a specific workout plan was definitely new to me, but it was fun. It was so enjoyable having someone tell me what to do. Now in the beginning, I did have like an untracked meal each week. So like that was fine. I had something to look forward to. I was eating the meal plan every day, but then you got to go out and that made going out to eat more exciting. And so I followed the plan, I followed the workouts, I was pushing myself and I was enjoying doing it. And so after that month was up, I was like, okay, let's do it. The show's in what? Like 5-6 weeks. Let's really go in. Let's dial it up, dial in. And I was a personal trainer full time. So I was working full time. I was training full time. I was getting up at 4 a.m. to train and take progress photos, do my cardio fasted, and then I was meal prepping all my meals. Every single thing was counted out for the day. And it was nice to have someone tell me what to do because that just like took that from my brain where I didn't have to think about that part of my life. I didn't have to think about the food and I didn't have to think about the exercise. So really, I was really just trying to focus on work, and then I obviously had to get a posing coach as well. Now, what they don't tell you about this sport is it's expensive. So I made this decision like last minute to do the show. I didn't really do much research. It is expensive between like the coaching, the posing coaches, the food, because you're only getting certain foods. You want it high quality. If I'm gonna have to eat shrimp every day, I want good shrimp. The food, the bikini, the jewelry, you have to pay for getting your makeup done, the tan done. It's a lot. The entry fees. So I went all in. I had people, they were counting on me, they believed in me, they were helping me every step of the way. And so I was all in for this. There's no backing out. These people were ready for me to win this, and everyone believed I could win, and that was a lot of pressure, but I knew that just pushed me to stay true to the plan. So I did everything I was told to do. I was working full time, which really helped. And if you are a bodybuilder or you're doing a plan like this, it's helpful to be busy. So I was like never home, because if I was home, I either had no energy, so I would like just lay and watch TV, or I was hungry, so I didn't want to be home. So I was always going on walks. I was going to the grocery store, getting my meal prep done. I was at work, and it really was a cycle of waking up, cardio, work, lift, work, meal prepping, and everything like that. So this is a full-time job, I think. Props to people who are really good at this sport and want to be better at this sport. It is a full-time job to be a bodybuilder. And a lot of people are like, I wish you, like, I did obviously after the show have a bad relationship with food, but this entire process showed me that I really can do anything that I put my mind to. And maybe in hindsight, I've struggled immediately after, but like long term, zoom out, it showed me that I'm capable of really anything. And so come time to the show, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I dialed it in. I was practicing my posing. And towards the end, when you're so lean, the posing is the hardest part. It is so hard. And everything's cracking and creaking, and you're exhausted, and you're living off caffeine, and it's hard. Like, this is a crazy sport. I never thought I would do it. I just kind of was like, all right, let's do this. And I did it. And I ended up doing the novice and the open category for figure. And I won, and there was one other category that I did. And I won all the categories, and it was great. Like, it was fun. It was a really fun experience, like getting up on stage, having your makeup done, having your tan done. But long story short, it was not for me. After my show, I was actually in the middle of a move. And so the reverse diet was really hard, because I wanted to see all my friends and go out to eat with them and, go to my favorite spots before I moved across the country. And so the reverse diet did not go to plan, and it was really hard, and I felt very out of control around food. And if you're a bodybuilder, a lot of people give you gifts of food for your show, and that is great and all. But I could not control myself. I mean, the amount of Reese's and cookies and things I ate and felt so sick, it was so hard, and you feel so inflamed because you're holding on to water, and it's hard to just get back into normal life again. And it's hard to know like what normal life was, because you are living that way every day for a long period of time. And even though mine was a shorter prep, 10 weeks of prepping for something like that, that's your new norm. And so after that, I was like, what is a proper amount of food? How did I eat before this? And so 1 month into my prep though, after those first 4 weeks, I did lose my period. But I was informed like, that's normal. Once you gain the weight back, you'll get your period back. It's normal for the sport. So I was like, okay, the show's only in another month. Like, that's fine. My period still never came. It never came. And the holidays were next. Like, I moved, and then there was the holidays. And that was what was horrible for me. Being around all that food, I had no sense of control. And it's not even that you feel guilty for eating. It's you feel guilty for not being able to control yourself. Like, the food just being out and me being in another room, I would think about everything that was on the table, and if I was in that room, I would eat until I was sick. Like, I really would. And it's just like feeling like you have no power over your body and your mind. That was the part that was really hard for me. And then Christmas came, and same thing. It was so hard to be around all the food and not just like feel like you have to eat so much. And I was gaining weight, and my body image was terrible. I didn't know what I looked like, and I didn't know how I should look, because I did a show and they tell you shouldn't be that lean forever, but like any pound that you gain after, you can see it and you feel it, and it's impossible to gain weight and be okay with it. It really is. So still no period, and I decided, like, I was still struggling with food. I was like, so let me have a goal of running a 5K. I think if I make a goal of being performance-based, that will push me to eat. It did not. I actually was working out more and eating way less. I probably got down to like 14 to 1600 calories. I was burning over 3,000 calories a day, running 8 to 10 miles, lifting 6 days a week. And I was living like a professional athlete who wasn't a professional athlete. I was overdoing everything. And it really came to a point where I was like, I'm really struggling with food and I can't live life. I'm scared to go out. I can't enjoy the holidays with my family. I don't even know the last time I had a piece of cake. Like, there are so many things that I haven't had in years just because I'm so fearful of the calories and gaining of the weight, because so much of my identity was looking a certain way and being so strong and built. And there was just a sense of control. Like, I liked being able to control that, because when you're in your 20s, you feel like there's so much stuff that's out of your control that if you can control your food and you can control your exercise, it gives you some sense of relief. Like, seeing that number drop on the scale and getting to be like, no, you can't eat yet, or you have to do this first. It's like calming to be able to control something like that, because you feel like you're in control when really it is controlling you. I mean, the amount of restaurants I felt like the waiter was looking at me eat or judging what I was ordering, or everyone was looking at me. It's not true. It's just the anxiety that comes with being so undernourished. I mean, my brain was not even working. The brain fog was crazy. So when I look back, I see the bodybuilding competition, and many people are like, I wish you never did that. It really messed up your relationship with food. It really made it like your body. And I was like, but it wasn't that. Like, it started before then. And when I look back, like, it started years before that. I was struggling with food, but I didn't look like I was struggling with food. I remember making jokes with who was my boyfriend at the time, now my husband. Like, I'm probably the worst person with an eating disorder ever, because I didn't look like I had an eating disorder, but I did control my food. And so I really think that the bodybuilding competition was just a tipping point for me. Like, it showed me that I am struggling with food. And it did take a long time. Like, we're 2 years away from that, and I'm still working on this. And my first year working on it, I would say I didn't really make the strides that I should have. I didn't gain any weight. I pretended that I was eating more, but really I was still in a lot of control. And really, if it weren't for my family and my husband, I don't know if I would still be here wanting to work on this, because they're my biggest reasons why. When you have an eating disorder, or you're struggling with something like that, and you're just struggling with your mental health, you need a why. And my why was my family and my husband. I want to have kids one day, and without a period, that's just something that's impossible. And so still in the beginning phases of healing my relationship with food, I still didn't really want to. I was like, I feel so selfish for not wanting to get better, because that means I can't give my husband kids. I can't be the sister and the daughter for my family, because I used to be so fun and vibrant, and really I'm just a shell of a being. Like, I was a shell. I'm someone who my whole life has been around 140 some pounds, and I was 123 at my lowest. And that weight doesn't even matter, but I was literally, all I could think about was working out and eating my meals and being in control. And so that being said, I have come a really long way. I don't think that I've been this healthy mentally around food and exercise in years. Really, it has been years. And so I'm so proud of how far I've come, but I do know that there's still so much for me to do. I'm eating when I'm hungry. I'm eating way more, and I actually stopped tracking. I'm 7 days sober of MyFitnessPal. And I know that sounds silly, but it is a really big thing, especially on this journey. And I know that I'm eating enough, because I know my baseline of what I should be eating, and I'm eating way more than that. But I'm still pushing myself to eat out, still trying to make myself feel normal again. I'm going to be going out to eat today, which is a big thing for me. And each time it still feels really big, and I'm going to keep doing it until it's just normal, until someone can say, let's go out to eat. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. I don't even need to look at the menu. I don't need to be in control of where we're going. And I can't wait for that day to come. But I am grateful for my experience with the bodybuilding prep, because it pushed me really hard. I felt like as a teenager and even a Division I athlete, I never got to see my real potential. I never pushed myself. I always just was in that comfort zone. And so pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, it really showed me that I can do anything. And so if I can do anything, I can beat this eating disorder, and I can become the athlete that I want to be. I want to be strong. I want to be fast. I want to be an athlete that is well known. That is something I want to do. I want to, whether that's marathon running, Ironman, high rocks, I want to pursue a sport and be the best that I can be. And I want to be healthy doing it. I want to have a healthy cycle. I want to have a healthy relationship with food. And I want to show girls all around the world, and boys, that you can do anything that you want to do and you can get through anything, especially with a big support team. And I will say, like, having a place to share this experience has been great for me, because I know that it helps me stay accountable when I have you guys watching my stuff and knowing if I'm slipping back or if I'm doing really well. And I'm just really grateful for this experience. And I know a lot of people would not be that way, but I know that if I can get through this, I can get through anything. And I know I'm close. And I know with my support team that I am going to get there. And so that all being said, bodybuilding is an extremely difficult sport. It was a really great experience for me, but I would never do it again. And it's not something that I would pursue. But there are so many people whose personalities it works great for, and they're able to take time off in an off season to build and cut and build. And really, mentally, for me, that was not healthy. I just want to be able to maintain a strong and healthy body. So that being said, there's my story time of my first and only bodybuilding competition. And let's just see how the rest of my journey goes. Stay tuned.